Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm your host, Siren. Thank you guys for coming back to my channel. Um, I decided to come up here for a quick second and do a little vlog for you guys because I feel like there's been a lot of questions. It's been bugging me for a couple days now, but it's like, you know what? Let's just go ahead and talk about it. So, recently, our lovable Denny Dane decided to comment on the recent videos I've done, and basically he just became more of a nuisance than somebody who actually is worth the mention in the time, and it's kind of dumb on his part. So what we're going to be doing is talking about the three things that he was mad about, and saying the comments that he recently said, because recently last night I did my update on my Stoicheia decks, Magnolia and Zorga. And yes, this is Zorga. I haven't quite found another box for this one yet, even though, because this one's probably going to be for Lyrical if I can decide to build a Six Nation, but we'll see what happens on that one. Anyways, so, also for Zorga, when I did the deck profile update and the deck list from this deck right here, I realized that there were 4 extra sleeves that were there, and it's this right here, pretty much. These 4 are the extras. So I did redo the deck list, and when you see the deck list, you'll see that there's an error, which means they're probably is not meant to be in there, and there's meant to be a certain number and a certain amount. So that's a little heads up from me, even though and for me that's a little bit of a mistake. It's gonna happen, no big deal, but we're only human. Speaking of that, this is the comments I've been getting from Denny Dang in the past 18 hours total. So buckle up, y'all. This is not going to be a fun thing. So let's start with the Zorga build that I did recently. And he said, again, another garbage build of a deck I main and topped with. You just quit and delete this channel. You failure of a player that should not be playing the game at all, because how terrible you are at the game and also building decks. Okay. The next one are 2 of them from Stoicheia, Magnolia. This one's a question: why are you so terrible at building decks? You trash. Just quit because you're garbage at the game. Delete this channel, you failure of a player. This is the worst Magnolia deck build I've ever seen. You don't play fronts at all. You trash. Also, the deck is meant to be 7 draws so you can get your piece quicker. Learn how to build a deck, you garbage player that should just quit. Now, we all know that he's been known for being a trolling little bitch, obviously. And I don't know why these kind of comments kind of hurt me, but at least he did ask a question, technically. He was asking, why are you so terrible at building decks? Let's just cut the other part out and just say that question right there. Well, maybe in his eyes I am a very shitty player and maybe a shitty person at building decks and may not know how to build a game the way he thinks. Also, I kind of laugh at the idea that he thinks that I offend him by building Zorga in the way he doesn't do it. And I looked on his channel before I blocked him. Finally, I know how to block him. And he only had two subscribers. And I'm pretty sure they're all for him because he wants to have multiple copies and multiple accounts just so that he can keep a tabs on me or some shit like that, which is fucking stupid. But his question is, why are you so terrible at building decks? Okay. Let's get something straight about this because it is kind of stupid. And the one thing that I've hated for the longest time is, besides being criticized by my skills as a duelist / Vanguard player, it's the fact that people never really seen behind the scenes where how many times I played my games and how much progress I've made for the past few years at a certain game. Like, I started playing Yu-Gi-Oh! In the early 2000s when it first came out, which is Legend of Blue, or Legend of Blue Eyes. Then another set came out with Metal Raiders, and that's when I found Harpy Lady, which that's why I became my main deck, is Harpy Ladies. At the time, it was not a good deck. I had to rely on other cards to make it better. So these things do take time and progress as the years progressed. and the more you lose, eventually you learn from your mistakes and you learn to be a better player, and you eventually win your games even more. Now, what Danny Dane does not know is that he's never seen me in a real live event. He's never seen me play the games at all, and so he can't really pass judgment on this. Now, there are times I may play all my decks a certain way to just get a better, basic understanding and, find a better solution rather than just building a deck that someone else randomly chose on their own channel and then make that as my own. Like, no. Because the way I see it, you guys, every deck is different and every person is different. You can build the same meta deck, and that's the problem with Danny Dane, is that he's a meta player. Of course he's going to be belittling people who have a creative mind and should just quit because he deems them unworthy to play in his game, his life, in his world, in his universe, in his mental capacity of an asylum. So, but I told him I'm never going to quit this game, and I keep telling him, and I even told him this, I honestly doubt you have ever topped with these decks I've been posting at all, and I seriously doubt you main Stoicheia or any other deck. You're just having an ego meltdown, and you honestly haven't seen me play this game at all. My friends told me that I'm pretty good at the game, something you will never understand. And again, with calling me trash when you still haven't shown proof that your decks at all, and why? And why? And that's a good question. Why I even asked him, why does he honestly care so much about why I post Vanguard decks at all? On my channel, they're my decks I chose. Now, this one here is my precious. This is my baby. This is my Pale Moon Luciard. I haven't taken this out ever since, the V ended. So, I still have the imaginary gifts. I have the sleeves. And yes, these are purple, which I love the color of it. See, all the decks here are pretty much preserved. Now, I could take them back out and put them in my binder again, which, they're right over there, next to my showing machine, and just much of that junk. But, I'm in the process of trying to sort all my cards out so I can play V-Series again. And maybe this will come back, since I found out Lugia Reverse is coming back, which can't wait for it. And also, I invested so much money into the game because I did buy the Team Blackout sleeves, which I thought was more appropriate, and I'm going to be buying more of these just so I can have all my decks blackout and, all that good stuff. So, I cannot quit even if I wanted to and sell the cards as I worked so hard to build. And yes, these deck building skills take so much time and to think. I mean, if you really want to, you can post, you can watch someone else's meta deck and copy that, but it won't not be the same feeling. In my personal experience of playing meta, I did not enjoy it very much. I was playing Shaddoll at the time, and I thought I had the best deck out there. I thought I was going to win and gain the glory that I was entitled to. And yes, I did say entitled. Sorry. But it's the truth. And then I got into a mirror match, and I got super salty as hell. And I told the kid that he was not worthy of playing Shadolls at all. And I stormed out, going outside, and I calmed down finally, have a cigarette. And then, after a while, I felt kind of bad, so I went back inside and found him, and was like saying, I'm sorry, you know what, I'm sorry. And he said it was his very first time playing the game, and the deck, I'm like... So, at that very moment, at that very second, I became the douchebag. I was a douchebag. And I couldn't help but cry the entire event, and I felt so bad, and I felt dirty playing a deck that I now know is not mine, and it's someone else's idea of me playing a meta deck because they want me to win. A meta is only a tool, I know that for a fact, but deck building skills, it just takes time because you have friends that recommend you to try certain cards, make it a little bit more better, but you can also find your own sense of style, your play style, what you love to do, why you love the deck so much, and what can you do. Sorry. What can you do to make it better? Honestly, I go with the flow. And yes, what I like to do with my decks is I can take one thing that's like color coordinated and do it like the most opposite color as possible. Take this one for example. This is my, well, I can't really show you guys this, but this deck right here is Keter Sanctuary, and that's going to be a deck I might be doing next week. So I cannot show you that update quite yet. But I'm looking forward to it. Okay. But the problem is, these ones here are like from Yu-Gi-Oh! Boxes. I still need to find better ones, but with the money I kind of get, it's a little tough to find. But this one's obviously right there, because this is my Varina build I showed a couple of weeks ago. And you see, it's white inside and it's red, so you know it's just the color of Dragon Empire. I know Danny Dane hates these ideas about me playing a certain deck in a certain way, but I don't think he quite understands that it comes with, you know, being a YouTuber and being your own influencer at building decks. You don't have to rely on the meta completely. You can look at it for some inspiration, like I've been trying to do. I looked up a channel called True King Steven, or True Champion Steven, and he had these decks out before I even started playing Overdress. I started with a trial deck, and I got like a case of the set 1, and me and my friend decided to watch the video and see how good we can get for these decks, and lo and behold, we got him. And I felt happier because now I declared Brandgate as my main deck now, because I love the control of it, and I love the police girls, and it's a waifu kind of deck. But it was never really about the waifus. The fact that when I was younger, my dad wanted me to go to school to become a police officer, and I chose not to live that life because it wasn't for me. So, and the fact that Danny Dane is a very close-minded player, and obviously I may not have seen what his plays can do, whatever, but he still didn't have to like belittle me or constantly just talk down to me to think I'm just a stupid child. But I strongly believe that people are entitled to their own personal belief, their feelings, and also their deck building skills. For me, deck building is a creative idea, and it does take you away from the meta itself. You're allowed to create your own deck, play how you want to play it, and that's okay. You know, don't let someone else like this trashy human being, who has a terrible name, by the way, and his grammar is very horrible. Because you're gonna, one way or another, you're gonna get comments like this all the time. He's just gonna belittle you and talk shit about you all the time, thinking that you're trash and you're garbage, when he knows it's goddamn well that he doesn't have the balls to say it to your face. Don't worry about it. He is irrelevant. He's not in your life. You should not care. I should not care. So, I'm gonna close this vlog and just saying, do what makes you happy in Vanguard or Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Digimon. Do what makes you happy. Play the deck you want to play. Play the build you want to play the build. If it works for you, go for it. That's your decision. It's not anybody else's. I'm Siren Frost, your little hostess. Have a good weekend, you guys. See you next time.